Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. This is your host, Good Luck Chuck. We are back here with another episode of Kingdom Cast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share on all your social media platforms. We are back as Chiefs rookie minicamp. Well, okay, yeah, everybody knows we're black. I knew he was gonna catch that country. But anyway, yeah, we're back with another one, people. So Chiefs rookie minicamp has concluded, so we'll get into that for a little bit. Before we get into that, I'd like to introduce my guy Country to the top right hand of the screen. And then we welcome back another member of the Kansas City Sports Network. He is
the best looking member.
He is the fire. He is the desire. He is the passion of KC Sports Network. If y'all didn't see that video clip earlier, you the hype man, my guy.
I have my moments.
But yeah, he's one of the main hosts, man.
I had never seen that clip.
Oh, for real?
No, I missed that one.
Remember that? You don't remember that clip?
I remember. I heard about it. I never actually seen it. That was amazing. That was a Chargers Kelsey touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah, the overtime game, man.
Yep.
Everybody was hyped on that. I said, hell yeah, man. So yeah, one of the main hosts, man. One of the main hosts. We hosting with Maddie Lane and Craig Stout every week. I'd like to welcome back Kent Swanson. Ken, how you doing, man?
Well, I finally got guilted into coming back by Country, so he kind of put the heat on me a little bit because I had to cancel on y'all a couple weeks ago. And so he's like, he literally tags me on Twitter like last week and is like trying to put the heat on a little bit in the public square. I'm like, come on, man.
You're here.
Peer pressure.
You're here.
Peer pressure.
It works. It works.
Country, I'll do anything for you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Well,
let me write that down.
I should probably have not said that.
Country, I'll do anything for you. Kent Swanson. Okay.
We know how this is going to end.
Yeah,
I'll put that in my pocket. I'm going to use it.
We definitely clipping that. So yeah, man. So,
it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah,
since we've seen you, Kent.
The last time I saw you, not last time I saw Chuck, because Chuck came to Kingdom Bar. Last time I saw Country in person, we're standing in the crowd. There's a bunch of KC Sports Network guys hanging out, and you guys are there. Boogie's there, and Country said something that wasn't age appropriate. And by the way, the whole KCSN crew's there. I just turn to Country. I just go, "Yo, Country, there are kids around," and he just goes, "Yeah, sorry, Tucker."
I said, Tucker, sorry. You sound how you tweet.
Tucker was getting destroyed. That poor kid that day. Everybody was going in on him, and then you just threw a haymaker on him right there.
I love Tucker. Tucker, you do a great job. Tucker's a man. That was also the day I yelled at McCall Hartman, and he turned up and looked at the stands at me.
Yeah, I remember that too.
BJ said, "Dude, stop cussing, bro. You're cussing too much." And I was like, "Okay, my bad. Sorry, BJ." BJ scolded me that day. We had fun though. That was training camp. St. Joe. Can't wait to do it again. To be honest with you, but that was a good day.
It was. It's good seeing y'all, getting to hang out a little bit. I think we hung out a little bit after after practice was over and all that stuff. You know, it's just an excuse to see everybody. You know.
A little bit, yeah. It was nice. Just speaking of St. Joe, rookie minicamp just wrapped up. The word on the street is George Karlaftis. Did I say it right?
Mm-hmm.
I was just close enough for me. George had a good week, couple days. And Justyn Ross is the media darling right now. Is he Bobby Scipio or is there some substance here?
Oh, hell.
Man, I don't, you know what? I think there's a chance. Like, people forget, like, and like I know there's been a lot that's happened since his rookie or since his freshman year of college, but he was incredible. He was like, and all the George Pickens hype, like there was a lot of like, Justyn Ross was in that same kind of tier his freshman year. He's had some injuries. He had a spine issue that about ended his career, but like, I mean, this dude he's good. And so, I mean, there's a reason to get excited about him because like he's at no cost to the Chiefs, right? Like this is a all reward, no risk move. This is a bet on a guy that could potentially be, you know, a contributor on this football team. I'm not going to say he's going to be some elite superstar receiver, but even if he comes in and he can be 90% of what he's been, like that's a really big win for this team. He makes the football team and he plays the next 4 years for nothing on the cap, really. So like, I mean, there's a chance like this guy has a legit chance to actually make it.
What's up, Nathan?
Look at this. Look at this guy getting props.
What's up, Nathan?
Kent got 5 shows. You go to his show and you tell him. No, I'm just kidding. Does he just have to be better than Demarcus Robinson?
I mean, he just has to do enough to stick around for a year, if you ask me. If that sounds weird, but like, sure. I mean, yeah, you want to say that? I don't think he even has to be that. He just has to show that physically he's getting back. Physically, he's close to where, you know, close to capable, because he's a guy you try to stash on that roster because the payoff is worth it. So, you know, I know it could get tricky with cut down time when it comes to special teams, but like if Justyn Ross just shows enough to sit, you know, to make the roster in year one, that's huge, because I think you're hoping that eventually everything clicks for him physically, you know? And so like, I think the bar's pretty low for him to actually clear, honestly, you know? So like, I don't think he's going to take much for him to actually make this team. It's just, you know, he's got to show some promise, show some growth, and they got to be willing to potentially eat a roster spot to kind of just hold on to him a little bit, navigate that a little.
Yeah, the way I see it, man, like with him, you know, you can see the potential. I know there was like a few clips. There was a clip of him, you know, stumbling on a route or whatever. The little turf monster got to him and everything. But like, this kind of feels like a 1-year deal. I guess they may do the same thing with him like they did with Malik Herring, and you know, just try to get him right and everything. I mean, do you think that's the stronger possibility versus him actually contributing even a little bit this season?
I just like it's tough because like I don't know if he's allowed to be doing. You got to check on how he's got to like what he's got to be able to. Like Malik Herring basically got a red shirt, right? And
Right.
so as long as Justyn Ross meets the threshold requirements for a red shirt, which I don't know if these OTAs count. I don't know if the rookie mini camps count where you can be stashed. Because like Malik Herring, I believe, was able to get stashed because they put him on PUP list or something like that for the entirety of the season. So it's as long as they can, maybe they can finagle that a little bit. And as long as he meets those requirements and doesn't like I don't think he can participate in training camp at all. If he goes on PUP before training camp starts, then they have kind of a window to kind of navigate that. Could be an option. Just depends on where he's at physically. But that's what's going to be so interesting is how his body bounces back. It sounded like Andy said, hey, he's knocking off the rust a little bit, you know. So it's going to be worth monitoring. Like that's one of the big storylines I think you're going to see is like, okay, are people starting to get even more hyped in the building about Justyn Ross? And if so, then he's probably going to have to make the football team if you're going to keep him around.
Yeah. What's the more exciting training camp battle you're looking for? Wide receivers or DBs? Because corners is real thick right now. It's a lot of guys, and of course, I just watched your whole episode about Bradbury's. A lot of talk about that. A lot of smoke there. You know, maybe we're still interested, maybe we're not. Those two battles look good. It's going to be a lot of competition at wide receiver, a lot of competition at cornerback. I like the safety group too. I think that's going to be some big decisions. Also, sneakily, the running back room looks like it's going to be a fight too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're going to play a game after the draft because we've discussed the draft picks to and fro, back and forth. What position groups got better after the draft?
Well,
I think the ones we named. So corners, safeties, linebackers, running backs.
Yep.
I want to add the offensive line. I want to add the offensive line got better with Kennard.
Yeah.
Strictly with Kennard.
Yeah.
Wow. It really seems like the whole team got better after the draft.
They did. But like it's tough because like this is the most incomplete roster Veach has had heading into the draft too. So it's not like it's not as settled as it's been in the past. This team has been more established. They've entered draft saying, okay, we pretty much have a starter at every single position. We could roll with this team. Yeah, there's some weak spots, but we could roll with this team. Like that's something that they've done a lot. This year, they had holes before the draft. Like they had real holes at corner, edge rusher, receiver. Like they had needs, and so it's kind of tricky to say. You can't really compare it to some of these other recent ones. Like, yeah, they got better, but they also had way more needs than they ever had on this roster. So like that's where it gets a little interesting. But they crushed this draft class. And they got better, and they got real guys that can actually potentially make an impact. Even Darian Kennard in round 5 has a chance to make an impact.
Was this draft a layup, or did Veach really do some work?
Oh, Veach.
I say that because we had 12 picks. It's kind of hard to fall on your face with 12 picks. It's possible though.
No, it's happened, dude. It's happened, dude. No, he crushed it, man. He crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. Think about it. So I don't think they, if you go and listen back, it doesn't seem like they had a plan or anticipated Trent McDuffie was going to be there, right? They didn't come up with a lot of scenarios where they were going to go up for Trent McDuffie. He's there. They go do it. They go make the move. They get I think one of their first round grades. Like I'm pretty sure that was a first round grade for them, just the way he talked about it. And you don't make that trade up with a guy that you didn't create a ton of scenarios for unless he's the first round pick. They had good instincts to sit and let Karlaftis fall to him. That's another win. So like that's 2. You got a blue chip player that who you think is a blue chip player, McDuffie, and then you sat there and just trusted that the board would fall to you at edge. Then you trade back a little bit on the Sky Moore deal where they would have felt comfortable taking him at 50. Okay, cool. You trade back a little bit, you get a 5th round pick. That 5th round pick turns into Darian Kennard. Like that's him actively making really smart moves up and down that board 2 days straight. And then I think he did a good job on day 3 too, moving up for Kennard, moving and taking Josh Williams and being able to take Josh Williams. I don't think there's anything you can complain about. Shoot, I think Isaiah Pacheco might make this team. I think he might wind up being a decent player for this team. So like, it's not a layup. He did some work, and like he had as good a draft as he's had in 5 years here.
Was the Sky Moore trade back Kennard pickup, was that the move where it's like, okay, he's in the groove right now? Like he's literally killing his draft. Like he can do anything he wants in this draft right now.
When they moved back and still got Sky, like, cause like that was a time like they traded behind teams that were gonna go receiver, right? Like the Colts were going receiver, and the Patriots traded up for a receiver. They moved back and got exactly what they wanted still, even in an area of the draft where like, and there were the receivers were flying. That's perfect. And Sky Moore fits better than some of the guys that got drafted. Like he fit better than Tyquan Thornton, I think, who the Patriots moved up for. So man, that move was probably my favorite move, especially considering it. Like if we look back in 4 years and Darian Kennard's the starting right tackle, we're gonna go, man, Veach traded back and got Darian Kennard out of this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, so
what was your? I missed it, but I think I did see when the Patriots selected Tyquan Thornton. I don't know if it was you or Maddie, but it was just like, what? Like, what are you doing?
Look, Tyquan Thornton's good. Don't get me wrong.
He is. He's not that good.
He's a good player. He's just his skill set doesn't like. I would rather have a guy with a little bit more well-rounded skill set. Like Tyquan Thornton has one thing he's very good at. He's a very good vertical runner, long speed. And he's a little bit more fluid as a route runner too than some of the other straight line speed guys. But man, I wouldn't trade up for him. I mean, the Patriots do weird things, man. The Patriots do weird things. I don't think Tyquan Thornton should have gone before Sky Moore, but hey, more.
Would you say they do strange things?
That's my area. Like now you're like on Chuck. Chuck's not having it.
I don't get this guy sometimes, man.
That was off the dome, baby. Yeah. That was dope. That was dope.
You're in the pun club now, man. Welcome. Country you're in, buddy. Welcome.
Okay, usually Brett Veach, undrafted free agents, that's the area he gets down. We didn't really do a lot this year. Like and we still got holes, but we didn't do the undrafted free agent where we get 12 guys like we normally do. You think that was the issue, or we just had a big draft, we didn't need it?
He's made 6 picks every year before this year, and then he makes 10. Also, he gets really good lottery tickets this year because Mike Rose out of Iowa State, he has a chance to actually make this team. We talked about Justyn Ross, legit chance to make this team. Jack Cochran, linebacker out of South Dakota, chance to make this team. Like, he got guys that actually potentially could make it. And so I'm not disappointed that he didn't get the volume. I think he's done a really good job historically in the undrafted market. And I think he got guys that have like a legitimate chance of actually making this team. And when you have that, when you include the fact that there's already 10 draft picks here too, like, it's impressive. I think they did a good job. I think he did solid with undrafted. Like, obviously I'd like to see more, but I'm not going to get too picky either because he's still got some really good ones.
How shocked were you that we went 10 picks though?
I mean, I'm not super surprised, honestly. I mean, I was hoping for that. Like, that was kind of what I was hoping for, and everything that he did this year was exactly what I would have hoped he would have. Like, we were hoping for the players that they got when they got him. Sky Moore, when he came up, we're like, okay, I hope this is Sky Moore. I think Darian Kinnard, like, I hope it's Darian Kinnard. Like, there's Joshua Williams, like, I hope this is Josh Williams. George Karlaftis, I hope this is George Karlaftis. Like, we were hyped about all these guys. So he just kind of he crushed it. And so he did a lot of things that in the same way I would have. 10 picks. I think that's great. I think that's about right. 12 was probably a little bit too many. 10's perfect, and 2 of those are 3 of those are round 7 swings. A round 7 running back making it isn't shocking. And, you know, a couple corner or defensive back pieces that are worth like kind of taking a look at. Man, I think he just kind of had a really solid group all together, and like guys that actually have a chance of making the team.
So one of the position battles I'm looking forward to seeing is special teams as far as like in a return game. So like you mentioned Pacheco earlier, and then I've seen that they moved Jerrion Ely from running back to wide receiver. So he might be another candidate for a return guy. Like, who do you see being like the return guy on this team? Because they need one.
Yeah, I don't know. Right now. I don't know, man. Like that's like a big question. And yeah, I mean, you heard Veach talk in one of the pressers. I can't remember if it was like during the draft or before the draft. He's basically like, you know, wide receivers, defensive backs, running backs. They can locate the football. You know, they can catch the ball confidently. Like, you should be able to give them a shot to get back there. So like, I think it's pretty unsettled. You could see guys like Pacheco maybe get back there. You could see, I mean, like McColl will probably be factoring in some capacity still. I would anticipate like they'll probably still throw him back there a little bit. Jerrion Ely, another one of those undrafted free agent types. Like, yeah, maybe he's got a shot. Like, they've got enough swings that they'll figure it out. And you know, they got some good talent there. So like, I'm not too worried about it. I think it'll get figured out. But like, I mean, Jerrion Ely, that maybe his role is that if he can find a way to be a better return guy and a quality return guy, like that could be a big factor in him making the team.
Who's the next Marcus Kemp? That's the question.
Marcus Kemp might be the next Marcus Kemp.
Oh God.
You know, like Toe might call him at like August 1 and just be like, Marcus.
What you doing, Marcus?
Come be a gunner.
Okay, we're not gonna avoid this question, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask Bradbury for less than $5 million and incentives below $8 million. Yes or no?
Sign me up. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about you, Chuck. Sign me up for that. I'm good with it. We were having the debate on the show yesterday. That's something I feel comfortable
doing. Good
doing.
debate too.
I don't know about you, Chuck.
Well, I was an advocate for Bradbury like a couple of episodes ago. So I mean, for that, so why not? I mean, there's nothing wrong with bringing in more competition, especially at that position. Because it's definitely an unknown right now.
Yeah, at 13 mil, no, it was a definite no. 5, yeah, but what do? Are you putting McDuffie and Bradbury outside, putting Snead in the middle? Are you? Are you? Because McDuffie said he's learning nickel and corner. Are you moving him inside and then later on pushing him out? Or I mean, how does that shake up the room?
You know what it sounds like, country?
What?
Sounds like a good problem.
Sounds like a good problem.
Like you've got real tangible depth now. You got two guys that have some inside outside versatility. You kind of make a decision on which one plays best in those sub packages, inside or out. You go with that, and that you add some legit depth to this defensive background, which they've never had. So like, I don't care. Just like put the best 3 cornerbacks out there. 2 of those guys have shown an ability to play inside. I mean, that's a good problem if you ask me.
I hate to do another pun, but is Sleep a little slept on?
Is what?
Is Sleep. Rashad Fenton's nickname is Sleep. Come on now.
I didn't.
It's his Twitter name.
The first time I don't, yeah. I don't really follow a ton of players, to be honest with you.
All I do is follow players.
I don't follow players very often on.
Not everybody's a fan like you, country.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Rashad Fenton.
Thank you.
His nickname is Sleep. Do you feel like he's being slept on or swept under the rug a little bit?
I just feel bad I ruined your pun, country.
No, it's all good. It's not my game.
Hey, he's fine, dude. Like, I mean, is he slept on? Sure, probably a little bit. He's a quality piece. He's a guy you want on your roster. I think he's better. Like, I think you're happy with him as your 4th corner, which, I mean, I think you can live with him as a 3rd corner, but like, I think you're fine with him as your 4th corner personally. He played well in a decent sample size. He had a pretty good year, but at the same time, like, I don't think he's a guy you don't try to get better over. I think you're glad to have him, but yeah, I would probably prefer to, continue to try to, like that's a guy that you can try to replace, and not to say you don't keep him on the roster or anything. You just, I think it's smart to try to add talent over, and they kind of have.
Yeah, and isn't he like battling like a shoulder injury currently at the moment?
That's the other thing. We don't know like what's up with that. They've had a lot of defensive backs. Are we sure he's gonna be good to go? And if he's not good to go to start training camp, and like this is a formula for him to get passed over. If James Bradbury does sign with the Chiefs, that's another reason to start questioning. Okay, is everything all right with Rashad Fenton? I'm sorry, Sleep. Is everything all right with Sleep? But it's worth asking, I think, if the Chiefs do go after Bradbury.
All right, so I need to be sold on George Karlaftis a little more. I want to talk about him. Okay. All right, so I do see some traits that I like. He's very good against the run, right? Been hearing a lot of good things throughout minicamp. I know Andy Reid quoted saying that he likes to go 100 miles an hour all the time, and they had to slow him down a little bit, during walkthroughs and stuff. Karlaftis, man, I mean, on average, he averaged like 7.5 sacks per season at Purdue or whatever. At the next level, I kind of need to see a little more than that, honestly, man. Like, we need a guy that's gonna actually finish plays. So, like, just sell me on Karlaftis a little more, man.
Well, all right. So, all right, your expectations for pick 30, right? Like, I think that you got to take all that into consideration. At pick 30, if George Karlaftis could win quick and turn a corner and if George Karlaftis could bend a little bit and have like that kind of, flexibility through his frame, be able to kind of turn a corner, he wouldn't have been there at 30. Right? I mean, he's a guy that has, he's got some unique physical traits, but like bend isn't one of them. And guys that can bend, that are his size, with his kind of motor, with his kind of football character, that young, that linearly explosive, like those guys go top 10. So I think if you're expecting a guy that's really going to come in and completely change your pass rush at pick 30, that doesn't happen. That doesn't exist. Like, that's not a realistic expectation for a 30th pick. But a guy that can be a really solid rotational player, a guy that can I mean rotation's a light word. He can play a lot of snaps. He can be a heavily used defensive end, a guy that's going to play with his hair on fire, with a relentless motor, that's big, that's powerful on a like explosive laterally or linearly. Like, he can burst in a straight line. He's going to continue to work to the quarterback if the back end of the coverage, holds up strong. Like, if you give him a sliver of time, he's going to keep fighting every inch to try to get that sack. Like, there's value in that. He's not a quick winner, but there's not quick winners you get at pick 30 very often. So the Chiefs did what they could to get a guy that has some physical ability, young, coachable. He can still get better. There's still some upside there. And maybe he's not flexible, fine, but like, there's still enough there. And so I don't know if he's going to be a 10 sack guy ever, but sign me right up for, 5-8 sack seasons, 5-7 sack seasons. I'll take that in a heartbeat at pick 30.
Okay. With that explanation, does that explain why we dive so deep into the corner market? Because if your secondary is elite, then that benefits a guy like George, because he takes a little bit longer. If they can hold for 3 seconds, he could he mostly come out winning in those situations, right?
I wouldn't say the plan was to be better in coverage because you drafted George Karlaftis, but I think both of those work well together, if that makes sense. Like, being better in the back end of the secondary is going to help this team if they can be a little bit better than they were last year, which I think they have the horses and the size, the length, the athleticism to do it. But I don't know if it was necessarily a George play. Now, George can benefit from a team that's making the quarterback hold on the ball an extra tick, for sure. And so, like, they could work out really well together, and that would be a big win for this team too, is, if everything kind of marries itself well. And to this point, you look at on paper, like, you can see a path to that happening, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So okay. So with that being said, on your full explanation of Karlaftis,
he's still not sold. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like,
hold on, Chuck. We gotta talk.
Okay.
What are your expectations for George Karlaftis? Like, what does he have to do to be successful?
Okay, first year, I ain't gonna expect them to go crazy like that, right? I mean, it's a learning curve, because I do see that he's gonna learn that in the NFL, you're not gonna be able to use the bull rush that you was accustomed to using at Purdue, like you was, for one, because everybody in the NFL at offensive line, they athletic, they got good hands too. So that'll be one adjustment. But like I said, I have no issue with him making an impact against the run and everything. Over time, what I want to see is him just developing, a few more counters in his game. You know what I mean? To where he can improve in that pass rushing department, his sack numbers and everything. I'm not saying you got to be like, say, J.J. Watt. I'm not saying you got to be that, but just give us like at least 10, 11 at some point.
So can he be Tamba Hali?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I'll take that. Or Jared Allen. Give me
Tamba Hali and Jared Allen are like the top end of his career, though. Like, I just okay, to be fair, I mean, like, Tamba had a 14.5 sack season, a 12 sack season, an 11 sack season. Like, Tamba is like, you don't get that guy at 30 very often. And the Chiefs didn't get that guy at 30. They got that guy at 20. And so I mean, I think you just like, yes, George Karlaftis, like he is not gonna. I don't think he's gonna ever be that guy. But like, I don't think he has to be that guy to be a successful top 30, 30th pick in the draft. Honestly, like I just like expectations kind of matter when it comes to all this. Like, if you set your expectations appropriately, I think you can see like he'll be a pretty good football player. I really do think he'll be a solid rotational piece. But like, man, that's a really lofty, like that's the ceiling. Like a ceiling for him is like probably like a Tamba. Like that's like a 90 sack career is probably his ceiling. It's a good ceiling. Like this team with a Tamba Hali at pick 30 for cheap. I mean, that's a big win.
Is the difference in talent really that wide, the gap between pick 20 and 30 though?
Yeah, well, yeah, it can be. I mean, if you look at historically, if you look at some of the late first round pass rushers, not many of them have more than 4 or 5 sacks their rookie year. It's it's kind of tough to break through. Like I think you even look at like Jason Owa. Like I was looking at his stats. I'll look him up real quick, but like he had Jason Owa had a good rookie year, right? Like we think everybody talk about how he had a good rookie year? Guess how many sacks he had?
I think you just mentioned it.
5. He had 5 sacks his rookie year. And that was the 30th pick in the draft, 31st pick in the draft. That was the 31st pick in the draft. So, I mean,
So you think George is going to be that guy? He's not. He's coming off like he's not the guy, but he's not Batman definitely, but he might be Robin. He might be Nightwing. Bad.
He's just, I mean, yeah, like he's a sidekick, but like a sidekick's not the right, like he's a solid football player. Like he's a solid addition to a roster. Like there's value in if he can be a 7 sack guy, you're thrilled because like that's a guy that's playing a lot of snaps, which is super valuable, who's playing hard, giving great effort and affecting the quarterback. Like, yeah, he's not probably going to be the centerpiece pass rusher. You got to find, I mean, it's hard to find those kind of guys. I mean, the reason Frank Clark didn't have second round talent wasn't the problem. Frank Clark's talent was before pick 30 talent. It wasn't the talent. So the Chiefs had to pay a bunch to get that guy and pay him a bunch to get that guy because it's hard to find those kind of physical traits. Like when it comes to pass rusher, your physical traits matter more than any position in the sport. If you are dense, explosive, and fluid, your chances of hitting as a pass rusher are way higher than anybody, which is why big, fast, fluid, explosive pass rushers go really early. And so George checks 2 or 3 of the boxes. He doesn't check all of them. But there's a path to success. It's just like if he can turn, he's a top 10 pick.
That brings up an interesting question: is are we ever going to be able to get those guys at the level that we pick? We plan on picking 27 and down.
Yeah.
For what? The next 5-6 years?
They will pick 27 and down for the next. So
okay,
this is
I got a question.
Go.
Would you have a losing season just to like reset the roster with some top?
No. Don't waste a year of Mahomes' career. If Mahomes plays, that's not happening anyway. No, I wouldn't sacrifice a year. But like this is why Brett Veach went out and trades and is willing to trade first round picks to get elite talents. This is why he's been so aggressive about making sure he gets tackle. Because if you look at last year's tackle, there's probably they traded essentially the value of pick 38. There wasn't a starting left tackle at pick 38 or pick 32 or pick 31. There wasn't a starting left tackle. The Chiefs did the right thing trading for Orlando Brown. Pass rush. I know Frank's been through his stuff, but like the tape Frank put on in Seattle was worth trading a first round pick for. And you can't draft that trait at pick 28. That just doesn't happen. So the Chiefs are either going to have to, which is what they've done, is pay for their stars with draft picks and big contracts, which they're going to probably have to do again. They'll probably do it next year, and it'll probably be for a pass rusher again. Or they're gonna have. There's another post. You just continue to stack good players around Mahomes, and maybe you're not gonna have an elite pass rusher, but you're gonna have a sound defense with a lot of guys, and it's enough to win football games because Mahomes is the best player in the world. Like there's more ways to do it. You would prefer to have that talent, but if you're gonna go grab that talent, you got to be a little bit. You're not getting it in the draft just by simply drafting one at 28. You got to either be really aggressive with your picks, or trade them, or whatever.
Yes. Speaking of Patrick LaVon Mahomes, he was at the Formula One race this weekend. It was hilarious because I forgot what the Formula One host name is, but he interviewed Paulo Banchero and he thought he was Patrick Mahomes. That was pretty hilarious.
Have y'all watched F1 at all? By the way,
I watched some.
Have you watched the Netflix documentary?
Is that the one Ford versus Porsche? Or Ford versus Ferrari?
That's called a movie with Matt Damon.
I know, but it's a real race, though. It was a real race.
Yeah, no, there's a documentary on Netflix, and it's all about like F1, and it's incredible. Watch it. Is
F1 the one where they ride through the streets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, trust me, the F1 documentary is sweet.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yep.
It's kind of like Hard Knocks. It's kind of like Hard Knocks for F1, but it's like more honesty from the people. Like they're actually like.
Chris, don't act like you know what F1 was. Formula One. I know what Formula One is. Jesus Christ. What? My followers are not nice. F1. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, bro. It's cool. You should.
I will check it out based on your recommendation.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, have you been watching wrestling lately? The documentaries.
I haven't. I did watch. I was watching a little bit of Dark Side of the Ring season 3.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Side of the Ring is amazing.
I watched the plane ride from hell like the last couple weeks ago. That was wild.
Very wild. Ric Flair, come on.
Yeah,
buddy.
That's exactly everybody's takeaway is like Ric Flair.
Wow. Can you, Chuck? You're on the flight and Brock Lesnar and was it Brock and Goldberg? No, it wasn't Goldberg. It
wasn't Goldberg.
Was it Big Show?
No.
It's Brock Lesnar fighting a wrestler in the air.
In an airplane.
That's wild.
It was
That's
crazy.
Wild stuff.
Now I just remember that we liked it was Mr. Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Yep.
There you go.
Kurt Hennig. I just remember that we had shared about watching those wrestling documentaries. That's the best thing WWE does right now, really.
Just rewatch
outside of Roman Reigns.
I was rewatching The Last Ride with Taker. Again, because that is just did you watch Undertaker's did you watch his Hall of Fame speech?
A little bit of it. I didn't have the whole thing.
I missed it.
They gave him like a 10-minute ovation. It was awesome.
Before he even started speaking?
Yeah, they wouldn't let him talk. They just stood there and like clapped for like 10 minutes. It was awesome.
You deserve it.
Yep.
Very
Kent, man, we love you, man. We support everything you do. The draft guide is amazing. You guys put in work. You got like 5 different shows. You're always on my timeline. You're always on my YouTube. I follow everything you guys do. I look up to you guys. I get a lot of information from you guys. So if I'm wrong, blame Kent.
That's fine. There's people blaming me anyway. It's fine.
The reason I stopped doing so many polls is because of Kent. So blame him. If you miss my poll.
Dog, I remember you used to go crazy with them polls, man. My goodness.
It was a new feature. I had to try it out.
This man. Am I having lunch today? Yes or no?
Subway or Good sense. Hit me back in 30 minutes, please. Like, but nah, man. I feel like we came up together. I feel like
you were on the first show I ever had. You were on the KC. You're on the AP draft show. You were on the last episode with the Derek Nottie bit.
Yeah. Good times, man.
Yeah. It's funny. Craig and Maddie were on that too back in the day, and they were just jumping on to do like a segment like you did, and Bearcat, and
everybody went over there and look what they did to me. Sometimes you're friends, man. You're friends. No, man. Hey, man. You know how I feel about you, bro. You've been a good guy, man. You helped me through my housing process, like every step of the way. Kent was like, "Nah, dude, I would."
I was trying to. Hey, I'm being real with you, man.
Chuck, I was like, Kent, but it got a pool in the back. He was like, dude, no.
I just remember the best ones were like, it was like, so like it has this, but my wife doesn't like this. And I was just like, listen to the wife. She knows what's up. You can't, like, there's a lot of things you can do, but if the wife's instincts aren't in, like, I was like, you gotta trust the wife on it.
Yeah, now I'm in a house with no air conditioning. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, you gotta tell me why you taking my advice, man.
Yeah, no, I don't know how you heard without. I don't know how you without air conditioning already, bro. Like summer just started, you already without air conditioning.
It's broke 80 once. So it's broke 80 once in 2022, and already he's like struggle busting.
Brutal, man. Just brutal.
It's very brutal. I've been eating popsicles all day.
But real quick, we got a schedule leak allegedly. So
another one?
Yeah. So the first leak already happened. Everybody saw NFL draft night. The Chiefs will be playing the Chargers in week 2 to debut Amazon Prime's Thursday Night Football ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this came out that the Chiefs are likely to open the season at the Houston Texans, and they'll be playing at noon for week 1. So, how you guys feel about that?
3 sacks for George already.
Yeah, watch him just come out, just hot, get 3 sacks right off the top.
Just hit David Mills in the neck 3 times. He won't even feel it.
It's a lot of neck, man. That can't be safe to have a neck that long.
It's a lot of neck.
You might have to wear a collar. You know, like one of those, like, you might have to get the Brian Cox collar. To protect half of it.
A long neck. I feel sorry for Houston because they're going to be the first people. They get to see this new offense. They get to see this new improved, spread them out Patrick Mahomes. So
Lonnie Johnson revenge game.
Justin Reed revenge game.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
And if we steal Bradbury from them, because they're very interested in Bradbury, that'll be the trifecta. Yo, the best part of the draft, I'm sorry. Stealing McDuffie from Buffalo and then stealing Sky Moore from Buffalo. Best part of the draft.
Oh, and you could tell the Bills wanted. You could tell the Bills wanted McDuffie, man. You could tell.
Yeah.
Yo, thanks for watching, man. Kent gotta go because Kent gotta go coach his sons because he's father of the year. He has two very handsome boys that look just like him, which is amazing. Because your wife looks way better than you.
You must say you can apologize for my kids now because if they look like me.
Well, they look better than you. Yo, hey man, Kent, I love you, man.
I love you too, buddy.
You gonna watch Obi-Wan Kenobi or no? Yes or no?
Why are you even? I'm leaving.
You didn't watch He didn't watch Boba Fett. man. So I had to ask.
Country,
Bro.
country, you ain't nothing, dog. You ain't shit, man.
That was the best, man. Nah, man.
Oh man.
Kent's a great guy, man. He's been supporting us since the beginning, though. But yeah, I was on the AP draft show, and everybody went somewhere and left me by myself.
That's all right though. We
I
doing our own
know.
thing over here now, so
One man's trash is another man's
another
trash.
man's treasure. There you go, my guy. There you go.
Yo,
But yeah, but
schedule. What we gonna do for the schedule release? What we gonna do for the schedule release? I still
yeah.
want Mitch Holtis. I still want Mitch Holtis on the show, man. If you're watching and you know Mitch Holtis, tell him to call me, bro. For real.
So yeah, there will be a schedule release show this Thursday.
It's
So
Thursday.
yep. So whenever the schedule drops, we have all the teams and weeks and all that. We're gonna go live. We're gonna discuss it all. So I'll be looking forward to that for sure.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about that. We played the
Yeah.
Texans week 1. We played Chargers week 2 on Amazon Thursday night football. So we gonna get right into it.
Yep.
So
So yeah. I want to go back to the earlier comment.
which
Was that
one?
I want James Davis brought up talking
About
about him
Busy?
and yeah, about Canelo. So did you watch that Canelo fight? Did you
Did
watch that
Canelo
Canelo fight?
actually lose?
Yeah, he lost.
Oh, okay. I thought people were joking. I didn't watch the fight.
Nah, he lost. He lost, bro. Um,
He got whooped. I
so
heard.
yeah, man, he tried to make some history. You know what I mean? Going up to like heavyweight. Fighting somebody a little bigger than him who was also undefeated and everything. So I can't really fault him for going to one of the challenge like that. But Bivo, man, he was just killing him with that jab and them counters all night long, man.
So
And
he a bigger guy?
yep, and his defense was better than Canelo's. So
Well, Canelo known to he bounced back good when he get whooped because Floyd whooped him and he lost. He went 10 years without losing again. So it was good for him. A lesson. He should have. Sometimes you got to stay in your lane, bro.
right,
Go fight
and
one of the Charlo brothers.
yeah, and the vegan diets, that's a bad idea as a boxer, man. I wouldn't do that again. I would get off the vegan diet.
Well,
So,
that's better than the steroid diet.
oh yeah.
It was bad meat. It's better than that. So.
Yeah, just make sure the meat is good this time. So,
Yeah, it ain't tainted. It's tainted meat. That's a Walking Dead reference. So yeah, the schedule release. I expect us to have not the maximum number of games. I think it'll be 6. I think the max is 7, right? Primetime games. So
KTFA, you tripping?
I don't think we're gonna be playing a lot of noon games. I don't really foresee us playing a lot of noon games. I think it's gonna be a lot of 325s. I think it's gonna be. We definitely gonna get a Monday night. We're gonna get that Thursday night. We definitely gonna get those football night in America games. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It should be a good season. We play Tampa Bay this year. We play every division game should be good. Um, who else do we play? We play the
I just
Bills
want to
again this
know.
year.
I just want to know when we play the Bengals, dog. What week we play the Bengals? I'm circling that for sure.
Yeah, that's a must win. I don't care what happens. That's a
Hmm.
must win. We got to beat Cincinnati. James said you sound like Boogie.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. You tripping, man, about that
so
Canelo comment. But
so
dude, like,
tune in, man. Friday we're gonna be doing a scheduled show. Friday live.
nah, Thursday.
Thursday. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
So
So speaking of Tampa Bay, you mentioned Tampa Bay. I know you seen the news about Tom Brady. He's gonna be the new play-by-play analyst when he retires. He's gonna go to Fox Sports. He got a reported 10-year, $375 million contract, and
boy
that's
got it
more.
bad.
yeah, that'll be making more than he's ever made as a player. So yeah, what you think about that news?
We just never gonna get rid of Tom Brady.
Right, man. It's like, damn,
Um,
they can't get rid of this guy, man.
actually, I'm kind of a fan of Tom Brady when he's not playing. I think outside of the game, I think he's a little low key, little comedian, little dry sense of humor. He's probably cool. But you giving him $375 million, he's never done this before. Like, we don't know if he's gonna be good at this or not. And they already gave him $375 million.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
I don't know.
Over under said Sharp Brady
Oh
fight.
God.
Oh yeah,
Nah, they
Brady
can't
just
fight if Skip Bayless is there. I
right,
ain't gonna say what I want to say. Never mind. That's not
right, right. That's
this
Skip's boy, man. I
this
know
is a
Skip really
family
happy about
show.
that news.
Skip.
So,
Thomas Edward Philip Michael
Thomas
Brady, whatever.
Edward Patrick Brady.
Is that even his real name?
Yeah, it actually is.
Who 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 cares? It's like why you never mind.
That's how much of a fan he is, man. That's how much
He
of a
ain't no
fan he
real
is of the
fan,
guy,
man.
man.
He just don't want to be a fan of Mahomes, so he go with Brady. And then he liked
Right.
Rodgers, and then he liked Dak Prescott, and then he liked Baker Mayfield. Like I wouldn't
So
want him to be my fan because everybody he's a fan of turn out bad.
he ain't never been a fan of Rodgers though.
He ain't like Rodgers either.
Nah, he's
Rodgers
anti Rodgers.
MVP. Yeah. Tom
Chris,
Brady
that's a
just
great
don't want to
comment.
be
That's a
married,
great comment,
man.
Chris. She probably
Hey man,
drive him
don't get me in
crazy.
trouble with Tom Brady, man. Yo. So scheduled release, man. We're gonna throw a party. Everybody should be here. I think Boogie is off that day too. So Boogie got a
Yep.
new job, so he got a new schedule. We trying to work around it, you know what I'm saying? But he's still a part of the show. Kylie is still a part of the show. We're not going nowhere. Um, so we'll be here. We'll see y'all.
Yeah,
Check it out.
Jabba. Yeah, Jabba. We're not holding Boogie hostage, man. He's still a part of the show. We just working some
Yeah.
things out right now, the new scheduling and stuff. So
Yo, shout out to Ryan Tracy, man. Our most viewed episode of all time. He took that Cincinnati episode and got it out of here. Thank God for that. We gotta have you on. I don't know. Maybe we do something where we bring a fan on. We haven't brought a fan on before. We brought Chris on, right?
yeah, Chris was on here before.
One day, D man. Keep watching.
Yeah, one day we'll do. I guess we'll do like a fan appreciation show or a
Oh, no. Yeah,
supporter show.
when we hit 300 subscribers, which we are 29 away. When we hit 300, we will do a fan appreciation show. We will bring fans on. We will send fans the link. You can come on and talk with us for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and we'll do that. I didn't even clear that with the team. I'm just making a decision right there. It just came up top of the head. So if we reach 300 subscribers, we will do a fan appreciation show where guys like D-Man, Chris, Hefe, Kevin the Trucker, people like that that's been down since day one, we'll let them let it get a shot, ask some questions, and spark some conversation.
Yep. So with that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Kent Swanson, for coming back onto the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share all your social media platforms. Till the next episode, we out of here.
Peace.